If you are in a place where it is appropriate, comfortable, and safe for you to do so, please go ahead and close your eyes and begin to take a few slow, long, deep, relaxing breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. With every inhale, feel more light entering the body and more peace. With every exhale, allow yourself to just relax and let go, and allow gravity to take away from you all tension and anything that you do not want. Inhaling peace and light, exhaling, feel all tension draining from your body and mind. We picture ourselves on top of a beautiful mountain, in the center of a circular grove of trees. In the center of our circle, a bonfire blazes forth, lighting us and the grove up with a sacred golden light. We recognize that this is the light of perfect love and perfect trust, and it easily burns away everything that is not like itself, leaving us safe and pure. Into this sacred space, we invite the presence of our Creator. To many of us, our Creator presents themselves as a god and goddess, a father and mother. Into this sacred space, we also invoke and invite the presence of our angels, our guides, and our teachers. We ask that we be guided and led as we walk upon the way, so that we become happier, more prosperous, healthier, more gracious, and more loving people. Thank you very much, and if it's appropriate for you to do so out loud, you can join me in saying, "Blessed be." Today we are on sphere number 9. It's called Yesod, and it means foundation. And the holy name on that sphere number 9 foundation is Shaddai El Chai. You can translate Shaddai El Chai as Almighty Living God. Shaddai also actually means mountains. To some people, it means breasts, but in normal parlance, Shaddai El Chai means Almighty Living God, the presence of that which is alive. Now, in angel magic, sphere number 9 is related to the moon and to the archangel Gabriel. And that is the power of soul, of our soul. And that's where we have our own uniqueness. Our souls, our unique expressions of the divine, are the foundation of who we are on sphere number 9. Now, sphere number 9 also represents spiritual substance and Akashic energy. And all the magic that we work through sphere number 9. Sphere number 9 deals with archetypes, and sphere number 9 deals with symbols. And so anytime we work with magical symbols and archetypes, anything that we do to create thought forms that are to be manifest, that's all work that we do on sphere number 9, the Almighty Living God. God is alive in sphere number 9. So if you can think about yourself as a soul, you're an expression of unique divine purpose. And so infinite intelligence expresses itself as you. And as a soul that has not become identified as an ego, and therefore not identified through a body, as a soul, you have a very unique function to fulfill, which we've discovered on sphere 6 as well. But on sphere number 9, our own individuation starts to occur. And this is also a place where the ego starts to become a thing, where we start to consider ourselves as something that's separate from the rest of the world. And that's one of the many illusions that occur on sphere number 9, because sphere number 9 is sacred to the moon. And if you think of the moon card in the tarot, the moon card in the tarot trumps is not the magical part of the moon like the high priestess is. It's the illusory part of the moon. It's the lunacy of the moon. And that also exists on sphere number 9. This is what many people call the causal plane. This is where we have our experiences before they are physicalized, before they are realized in physical form, actualized in physical form. But it's also where things don't become physicalized, but we interact with them as if they are real, such as nightmares, such as dreams, such as phobias, neuroses, things like that. You can think of sphere number 9 as the foundation of what's to come, the spiritual foundation of all reality. So when we allow ourselves to have the foundation be that which is Shaddai El Chai rather than that which is our own ego thoughts, then spiritual substance underlies everything, is the foundation of all things. And therefore, all of our needs can be met at every moment of time and point of space through this almighty living God, through this spiritual substance. Spiritual substance on sphere number 9, if it's being broadcast from the rest of the tree, especially from sphere number 6 above it, or even sphere number 8 and sphere number 7, or that whole trinity there, then our needs are met without us thinking about them. We don't have to come up with the ways and the means. We leave the ways and the means to infinite intelligence, and all that spiritual substance is provided for us, and the manifestation is natural. But this is also where we get to interfere. And this is where most of us do interfere. And that's where we use spiritual substance against ourselves. So instead of Shaddai El Chai being in charge of sphere number 9, we say we're going to be in charge of sphere number 9. And therefore, anything that we desire, even if it's an unrighteous desire, becomes realized for us on sphere number 9. And that's where a lot of our problems start, is on sphere number 9, because we are usurping infinite intelligence's role here. We're saying, nope, we don't want infinite intelligence to create the foundation. We want to create the foundation ourselves. And so then we push Shaddai El Chai out of the way, and we become gods in our own right. And then we have all of the benefits of that. And what are the benefits of being gods in our own right rather than Shaddai El Chai providing for us? Is that we have things like poverty and pain and disease and death and relationship problems, environmental issues, political upheavals, on and on and on and on and on. And that's not only individually, but our collective consciousness as a group mind. That all exists on sphere number 9. Now, sphere number 9 is also the home of where the Akashic records are. The entire memory of the species is there, as well as our own individual memories. So, for instance, let's say you've forgotten something and you need to remember it for a case or something like that. And a hypnotherapist is capable of putting you into a hypnotic state and allowing you to tune into that part of your memory to remember that thing that you forgot so that you can use it as testimony or whatever. That hypnotist is actually directing you to access your memories that exist on sphere number 9. So we have actual choice. Do we want infinite intelligence's substance to prevail, or do we want our own substance to prevail? Whose foundation is it? Is it our foundation, or is it infinite intelligence's foundation? Because thought always produces form on some level or another. And that's happening through sphere number 9. And that's why sphere number 9 is where all magic occurs. But the problem that a lot of people don't realize, especially non-magicians, is that they're constantly cursing themselves on sphere number 9. They're constantly conjuring things and experiences either on their own or in consort with other people, and then interacting with them as if they were happening to them, as if they had nothing to do with it, because nobody has filled them in about the fact that on sphere number 9, they have a choice. Do I want my will, or do I want the infinite's will? This is where my choice actually starts to come into being. And infinite intelligence won't say, no, you must do it my way. Shaddai El Chai is there for us, but if we want to push Shaddai El Chai out of the way and we say, no, sphere number 9 is our foundation, we want it thus, we want it thus, Shaddai El Chai sits there and says, okay, and we'll wait patiently until you make another choice. because it understands that sphere number 9 is not only the sphere of foundation of the will of the infinite, but it is also the sphere where we have our own nightmares and our own dreams and our own illusions. If Shaddai El-Chai is in charge of the data that is manifest through sphere number 9, all is well. There's nothing to worry about, because then we have infinite intelligence's will manifesting through us. But if we decide that we want what we want when we want it, even though we may not say it that way, and we usurp that authority, then we get what we get. So it's very important to understand that. Now, it's interesting to note that one of the magical tools that is commonly associated with sphere number 9 is the magical perfume, magical perfumes. And you can see how that would be the case, because scents always bring up memories. Scents always bring about emotional experiences and responses to things better than any of the other senses, except for with people that are anasomic, that can't smell things. So that's why it's important when you're using perfumes with your magic, don't just go by a list of correspondences. Because sphere number 9 doesn't care about your correspondences. Sphere number 9 cares about your emotional response to something. So if the smell of that concoction of oil that has all the right ingredients according to the lists of correspondences, but the smell of it doesn't cause you to have an emotional response, then that's not a magical oil, no matter what day of the week that it was composed on, what phase of the moon, or what ingredients were used. It needs to elicit the appropriate response. It's a way of conjuring a response, conjuring an emotion. So when we use perfumes, it's really important that those perfumes actually function as they are meant to function. I tend to work with floral perfumes in my work the most, and I want them to, even though a lot of them have to be synthetic, but they smell real. What matters is that when I smell that perfume, that it transports me to the feeling that I'm in a rose garden, or that it transports me to that feeling of that smell of the gardenia, or whatever those fragrances are that elicit that emotional response from me. Because remember, part of magic is conjuring emotion. Conjuring emotion. And in order to work on sphere number 9, magically speaking, to create the thought forms that we want to create, we have to be able to conjure those emotions at will. And that's why on sphere number 9, it's not just that infinite intelligences will be done. It's that infinite intelligences will be done in consort with my will. We are co-creators here. We are co-creators on sphere number 9. Yet, if our idea of what we want is counter to what infinite intelligence's will for us is, then we are no longer co-creating. We are conjuring on our own. That's why it's always important to have a regular daily spiritual practice so that we are always in tune with infinite intelligence. We are always in tune with the divine will, so that when we say, this is what I want, we've gotten to the point of saying this or something even better according to divine will. That way, we are still co-creating. That way, if we're off the mark, it's fine. We can be corrected. So even though we work directly with the solar light a lot, the solar light really has to come through Yesod, has to really come through sphere number 9, it has to come through the moon. Because the solar light is directly above sphere number 9. Sphere number 6 is above sphere number 9. So it's that reason that sphere number 9 is the filter through which we receive all that magic. Now we can directly access also spheres number 8 and 7 from the kingdom, which we'll talk about next week. And we'll talk about more about how we can work with those spheres next week as well. But understand that most magic is really done through sphere number 9, through the moon. And that's why it's very important for much of the magical practice that we do, that we work according to the phases of the moon. According to the phases of the moon. And we're not bound by that. It's not like you can't work out of phase. But if you are working with the phases of the moon, then you are consciously putting your mind on sphere number 9 where the magic occurs. That's another reason why in the basic angel magic course, a lot of what we do, especially at the beginning, works through the Archangel Gabriel. No matter what other angels we're working with, we are working right straight through sphere number 9, because that is the filter. That is where the magic occurs. And that's, again, like I said, that's where all the archetypes are. That's where all the magical symbols are. That's where all the Akashic energy is. Everything that we can cognize from a magical point of view is on sphere number 9. And that's why it is considered the sphere of the magician or the sphere of the witch by many practitioners. And it's not that it's more important than any other sphere, not at all. No sphere is more important than any other sphere. It's just the one that we are closest to. It's the one that is closest to manifestation. And so it's easiest for us to understand it because it is the astral double of what is to come or what is. There's nothing that exists in the physical world doesn't have its astral counterpart in sphere 9, in the astral world. And conversely, nothing that we want on sphere number 10 can exist without first having its astral double on sphere number 9. And that's why things like conjurations and visualizations and all of that kind of stuff are important, because it is creating thought form on sphere number 9, which then automatically manifests on sphere number 10, always and automatically. There's no coaxing that needs to happen. It's just natural. It's just like if you drop the ball drops to the floor, right? And it works for anybody. Hitler drops a ball, the ball drops to the floor. Mother Teresa drops a ball, the ball drops to the floor. Jesus drops a ball, the ball drops to the floor. No matter who it is or what their history is and whether you think they're good people or not good people, it works for all of us. Every single one. So everything that we have and are in physical form has to happen first on the astral, has to happen first on what many of us call the causal plane. And that causal plane really is sphere number 9 for all intents and purposes as it relates to our physical world. Now, it could be argued that all of the tree is part of the causal plane, but we're just talking about where things exist immediately prior to their manifestation. It's very important that we understand that all psychic perception occurs on sphere number 9. All telepathy occurs on sphere number 9. All magical arts and sciences, divination, visualization, all of it exists on sphere number 9. And that's also why we have to be very careful, because sphere number 9 not only is the mirror through which we receive divine will, but it's also the mirror through which we can corrupt our experience of divine will. There's a lot of corruption available to us on sphere number 9 if we're not careful, if we decide to corrupt it. We're not victimized on sphere number 9, but we can victimize ourselves on sphere number 9 by not being honest, by not being forthright with our desires. So we have to be very clear that no matter what we think we want, that we co-create with the infinite when we're on sphere number 9, so that the manifestations always happen in a way that is for our highest good. And little affirmations like this or something better according to divine will go a long, long way, because the power of the spoken word is also on sphere number 9. The power of the written word is on sphere number 9. Part of it is, on sphere number 8. Part of the arts of magic can be on sphere number 7, but really the nitty-gritty, all of the actual manifestation process occurs on sphere number 9. So this is where we have to be careful of what we say and the things that we do, because think about how the deep mind works. Everything that we do on the physical plane is being noticed from sphere number 9. And it's as if we are training sphere number 9 as to what we want more of. And it's sort of like this feedback loop. And so that's why we have to be careful with what we do here on sphere number 10, what we do in the physical world, what we say. If we're dishonest, if we steal something, we're telling sphere number 9, we can't afford that. If we're dishonest, we are telling sphere number 9, the truth is not what we want. We want lies, right? If we manipulate someone, we say we can't get our needs met. We don't trust infinite intelligence. We are unsafe. So we've got to be careful of what we're feeding to sphere number 9, not just in our magical practice, but in our daily life, in our interactions with each and every person, with each and everything that we do. Sphere number 9 is listening. Think of sphere number 9 as your subconscious mind. It's the foundation of all things. It's the foundation of all that is to come. And so since your deep mind or your subconscious mind is the foundation, your subconscious mind doesn't really have a sense of humor. It takes you at your word. And if you're constantly showing it a certain type of behavior, then it says the boss wants more of this. So if you're stealing, then I guess the boss wants everything that proves to the boss that there's not enough. If you're lying, the boss wants us to prove to the boss that the truth is unsafe. It's very important that you listen also to your idle speech. If you're always saying, oh, that's such a pain in the ass, boss wants hemorrhoids, right? It sounds silly, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people talk themselves into problems like that, just by little stupid sayings that they say to themselves. Oh, life sucks and then you die. That's not a good thing to say. It's not a good mode of operation. It's not a good motto to carry around. The only thing that's certain in life is death and taxes. That's not a good motto. There's more things that could be certain, but that's what you're feeding number 9. You're saying, oh, this is how I want my life to look. So your life is going to prove that to you because that's your motto. That's your law. So that's why we spend a lot of time in many of the courses that I teach, kind of uncovering some of these hidden beliefs, uncovering some of these things that are sort of your personal laws so that you can retool them, that you can rewire what you're feeding to sphere number 9 so that you can get some new results. And one of the best ways to do that is to allow sphere number 6 to inform sphere number 9 for you. Allow that solar light to work through you so that you can make new decisions based on the ideas that you glean from that. Once you understand, oh, I see, I have a divine function to fulfill. I don't have to struggle for what I need. I don't have to struggle for money. I don't have to struggle for my health. I don't have to do all that anymore. I have the divine will that can show me what my function is. And then I can co-create with that divine will on sphere number 9. And then we invited Shaddai El-Chai back into where Shaddai El-Chai already exists instead of pushing Shaddai El-Chai out of the way. Because if you're going to say, no, Shaddai El-Chai, living God, I don't want you. I want to be the living God. I want to be God, not you. I'm God. And every time you say, I'm not good enough, anytime you steal something, anytime you lie about something, it's not that you're bad, it's that you're telling God, no, I want to be God. I want to be the God of sphere number 9. And I want to prove to myself that I'm not good enough. I want to prove to myself that I need to steal. I want to prove to myself that I need to lie. And so you see how you can get lost in the mire of all those illusions, because not only are you getting lost in the mire of illusions in your mind, but that's also what you're manifesting. So it's reinforcing through the foundation. You're misusing the foundation of your mind. You're misusing the foundation of spiritual substance. Spiritual substance that exists on sphere number 9, it's like fairy dust. That's how I like to look at it. It's like fairy dust or magic that, like when something happens in like movies and it happens in a puff of smoke. That puff of smoke symbolizes the spiritual substance of sphere number 9. All of that stuff has a sort of a basis in reality in that regard. So you don't want to sprinkle the fairy dust over something and make it worse. You don't want to sprinkle the fairy dust over something and curse yourself. You want to sprinkle the fairy dust over something and transform it into something better. And that's why we call upon that sphere number 6 to inform us so that we know that everything that we are doing on sphere number 9 is in alignment with the living God, not us as the living God. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me today. I so appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be.